You could be on a completely full flight, and that flight is losing money. At the same time, a half-empty flight could be one of the most valuable in the entire network. Take the hypothetical River City, a small place with one daily flight into a major hub. On paper, it looks simple. People want to go somewhere, so airlines fly them there. But that's not how the system works. The route map isn't a picture of where people want to go. It's a picture of how airlines make the entire system work. And this is where it gets interesting. Airlines don't decide routes based on whether a plane is full. They decide based on network contribution. A full plane at low fares can underperform a half-full plane with strong business demand. Yield, the money an airline makes per passenger, matters more than load factor, the percent of seats filled. And every flight competes with every other possible use of that aircraft. If a plane can earn more money flying somewhere else, that matters. For River City, the flight isn't judged on its own. It's judged on what it feeds into the system. The long-haul flights, the business markets, the high-yield connections. But deciding whether a route should exist is only step one. Because here's the part most people never see. Before 1978, airlines didn't choose most of their routes. The government did. Deregulation changed that almost overnight. Airlines could finally build networks designed around profit instead of policy. And that's when hubs emerged, because a hub multiplies the number of city pairs an airline can serve with the same aircraft. River City only gets that flight because it plugs into a hub that didn't exist before deregulation. Even if a route makes economic sense, it still has to fit into the network. The most important piece is the bank. A wave of arrivals and departures timed so passengers can connect quickly. This is the most visual part of the system. Dozens of flights landing, passengers spilling into the terminal, and then a coordinated burst of departures. If River City's flight arrives too early or too late, it misses the wave. And if it misses the wave, the whole route underperforms. Then there's fleet assignment, matching the right aircraft to the right route. Range matters. Demand matters, airport constraints matter, cost matters. And sometimes, a wild card changes the economics. A new state-of-the-art aircraft makes a route viable, or an airport offers incentives that shift the marginal math. But even when everything lines up, it still doesn't guarantee the route survives. A route can be cut even with strong load factors, if yields fall, or if the aircraft can earn more somewhere else. And when airlines cut frequency, the route becomes less convenient. Demand weakens, fares drop, more cuts follow. It's a common pattern, not a law, but it happens all the time. Fleet realities also reshape the map. Aging regional jets, pilot shortages, and scope clauses all make thin markets harder to serve. Competition can collapse yields overnight, and seasonal routes may not survive the shoulder months. For River City, the warning sign is simple. The number of flights drops, connections stop lining up, demand softens, and the route becomes fragile. Routes don't usually disappear all at once. They fade out, and by the time it's obvious, it's usually too late. So if all of this is true, why do airlines still get it wrong? This isn't theoretical. It's already happened, repeatedly. Pittsburgh was once one of the busiest connecting hubs in the country. After 9/11, U.S. Airways pulled back, cutting flights, shifting aircraft to other hubs, and dismantling its connecting banks. The hub collapsed, and the airport shifted from a powerhouse to a mostly origin and destination market. Cincinnati saw something similar, but with a twist. Once a major Delta hub, the airline began reducing operations starting in 2005. But the airport recovered by diversifying. It added low-cost carriers, expanded cargo operations, and eventually secured new international service. Today, some smaller cities are already losing flights, not because people stopped flying, but because airlines don't have enough pilots to operate smaller aircraft. So even if demand is there, the route can still disappear. At the same time, other cities are gaining routes that didn't exist a decade ago. New long-range narrowbodies are opening thinner transatlantic and transcontinental markets. Airports and tourism boards are offering incentives to attract marginal routes, and optimization tools are getting more integrated and more data-driven. River City's future depends on all of it: aircraft economics, pilot supply, and whether the hub still needs its feed. If a route is flown once per day, it's usually fragile. If it's flown multiple times per day, it's much more likely to stick. When airlines announce new routes, aircraft types, frequencies, and seasonality, it reveals whether it's a long-term play or a test. And if your city loses a non-stop, it's often about yield, frequency, and network fit, not demand alone. Every route you see exists for a reason, and every route that disappeared for a reason too. The route map isn't a picture of where people want to go, it's a picture of how airlines make the entire system work. If you enjoyed this breakdown, tap like, subscribe, and share it with someone who still thinks full flights always make money.